All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're getting inside the head of a true Wall Street legend, Henry Kravis. We're going to break down the core investment principles from one of the guys who literally invented private equity. And I'll show you how his game plan from decades ago can actually make you a much smarter investor right now. You see, the thing that made Henry Kravis a titan wasn't just his knack for finding a good deal. Not at all. It was his incredibly disciplined, hands-on approach. He just got it. He knew that real, lasting value isn't made by shuffling papers around. It's made by fundamentally improving the companies you buy.
And this quote right here, it gets straight to the heart of everything. It's so powerful because it reminds us that buying something is just the first step. That's the easy part. The real genius, the tough stuff, and frankly, where all the profit is, comes from what you do after the ink is dry.
So how did he do it? Well, to really understand the machine that is KKR, you have to look at the Kravis playbook. It was a whole strategy built on one powerful financial tool and two guiding principles that really set him apart from everyone else.
The first pillar is his signature move, the leveraged buyout. You'll hear it called an LBO. Now, I know that sounds complicated and like a lot of Wall Street jargon, but the concept, it's actually pretty simple. It's basically about using borrowed money to buy a company, and then using that company's own stuff, its assets and its cash, as collateral for the loan. It's a massive financial multiplier.
The process itself is surprisingly logical when you break it down. First, you find the right company. You're not looking for some flashy startup. No, you want a steady, boring, cash-generating business that nobody's paying attention to. Then, the magic happens in step 2. You use leverage. By borrowing a ton, you put very little of your own money down, and here's the absolute genius part. The bank isn't just betting on you, they're betting on the company you're buying. Its own assets secure the loan. The result of this kind of financial judo? Any little improvement you make to the business delivers a hugely amplified return on that small chunk of cash you put in.
Okay, so the LBO, that was the financial engine. But what was the fuel? Well, it was these other two pillars. Creating operational value is everything. It meant they rolled up their sleeves and actually made the business run better, more efficiently, more profitably. And we're not just talking about cutting costs, this was about real growth. And none of that was possible without the third pillar, partnership. Kravis insisted that management and employees had to be treated like owners, giving them a real piece of the pie. This mix of smart finance and just better business is what we can all learn from. So right about now, you're probably thinking, okay, that's great for a billionaire playing with giant companies, but what does any of this have to do with me? Well, it turns out, a lot. These core ideas can be adapted for pretty much any investor, and believe me, they are more relevant than ever. So here it is, your modern-day Kravis playbook. First, don't just buy stuff. Look for ways you can add value. Second, really understand leverage and how to use it with discipline, and that applies way beyond Wall Street. And third, the foundation for all of it. You've got to think like an owner, not a renter. And this chart just makes it all click. It shows you how this big, complex idea translates directly into our own lives. I mean, you're not doing a corporate LBO, but using a mortgage to buy a house, it's the exact same principle. You use borrowed money. The house itself secures the loan, and you amplify the potential return on your down payment. The key, just like Kravis taught, is discipline, making sure you have the cash flow to handle the debt.
And that brings us to the final lesson from the Kravis playbook. And honestly, this is probably the most powerful one. It's the mindset that sits underneath every single successful deal he ever did.
I love this quote. It's so good. It's not a short-term fling. It is a long-term commitment. It means you're in it for the long haul, through the good times and the bad. You have to really understand what you bought, believe in its future, and be ready to stick with it. So it all boils down to this. A renter thinks short-term. They'll patch a hole in the wall. An owner thinks long-term. They're worried about the foundation, the plumbing, the real value. So when you invest, stop renting a stock ticker for a few weeks. Own a piece of that business. Understand it, care about it, and plan on holding it. And that's the question I really want to leave you with today. Seriously, take a hard look at your own portfolio, at your own financial choices. Are you just passing through, hoping to make a quick buck? Or are you actually building real, lasting wealth because you're thinking like an owner? The choice, as they say, is yours.